Let me ask you about Joe Biden. What are the strengths and weaknesses of Joe Biden?
Weaknesses, I think, are some of the things you've identified. He is not seen as high energy. He is not the same Joe Biden that debated Paul Ryan in 2012 and ran circles around him and just an incredible debate performance. He is not inspiring in the way that someone like a Barack Obama was to people coming up and starting to get interested in politics. I think a lot of those are fair criticisms. I think on policy, he's not interested in a lot of the things that younger voters are interested in. I mentioned cannabis reform. I mentioned student loans. So I think that that's a deficit for Biden. I think the upside to Biden is when it comes to foreign policy, diplomacy, high-level negotiations, knowing how to engage with allies in a productive way. It's tough to find someone with more experience than Biden. I know that there are counterpoints to what I'm saying, and those include that was the old Biden, the new Biden doesn't have it. That includes that's just a sign of rot because he's been around for so long. Nobody should be around that long in politics. Perfectly reasonable criticisms to talk about, but I do see that as one of his strengths. And he also is good at knowing when he can work with Republicans and when he can't, and not wasting more time than is sort of expected for posturing reasons. And I think that that's a good thing.
Do you think he's actually there? So in day-to-day operation of government, given his cognitive capabilities, do you think he is an active and practicing executive?
I don't know that I can say that it's because of what may be going on cognitively, but my sense from the people I talk to is that he's very much involved in the highest level geopolitical and big domestic economic stuff, but that a lot of the smaller issues that presidents might or might not be in sort of plugged into, that he's not plugged into the details of a lot of the lower level stuff.
I mean, you could probably apply the same exact criticism, even more so towards the Donald Trump administration, in terms of being a practicing active executive who's paying attention. Like, for example, like Vladimir Putin is somebody who loves the role of the executive, has a huge amount of meetings, is constantly tracking information about agriculture and all the different subsystems of government. Stalin, funny enough, was also extremely good at this. So certain people just love the job of being an executive. And I'm not sure if Donald Trump did. And I'm not sure if Joe Biden in his current state has the cognitive capability to.
It's a good question. Kim Jong-un's another one, by the way. You know, there's videos of him examining a pottery, a factory where they make plates, and making very specific comments about how the plates should be made. I think that in that case, there's a lot of propaganda value to it. With Trump, I think you're probably right. You know, he did get involved in the minutia of things. I mean, once he pulled out a weather map and with a Sharpie drew a different hurricane path that was more politically convenient to him. That's pretty micro. You know, saying the Weather Channel's wrong.
I see what you did there.
This is okay.
I see what you did there.
That's a micro. He went to Puerto Rico and he gave out paper towels after a hurricane. Now he was shooting them like free throws, which didn't look very good. So he will get involved in the micro when it's advantageous. You know what I mean? But I do agree with you that he wants to just kind of make it so. Build the wall. I don't know. Just build it. Figure it out. Get it done.
Quick pause. Bathroom break?
Sure.
Yeah. You're hilarious. And just for the sake of completeness, I should mention the subreddit, What Biden Has Done. There's also What Trump Has Done, but it's not as active. And it has like this master list of all the accomplishments. It's I recommend people look at it because it's kind of rigorous and interesting with links, a list of all the things he's done. Just to list some of them, restored daily press briefings, canceled the Keystone Pipeline, reversed Trump's Muslim ban, required masks on federal property, rejoins the Paris Climate Agreement, extends student loan payment freeze, extend eviction freeze, historic stimulus bill, as you mentioned, ends funding for border wall, and so on and so forth. DACA, orders strengthening of DACA, rejoins the World Health Organization. And the timing of this, of course, is important. Several historic stimulus bills, which of course you could criticize or support. raised the minimum wage for federal contractors and federal employees for $15. There's a lot. There's a lot. It makes you realize with both Trump and Biden that there's a bunch of small details that matter.
Yeah.
Like that matter on people's lives, like actual little policies. Trump did a lot of stuff, as far as I heard, for the military. Like not big stuff, but small stuff.
Yeah, I'd be curious what you're thinking of. I mean, I know one of the big things under Trump was we're going to get trans people out of the military.
That's not what I was referring to.
You weren't referring to that. Trump's hilarious with these stories that he tells. And one of the stories, and you get to know them if you follow him at all. He tells the story, when I came into office, the generals came to me and they said, "Sir, the cupboards are bare. We have no bullets." And so I rebuilt the military. The cupboards were bare when Obama left it, and it was just terrible. But I rebuilt it. And the generals, I've got the best generals. They said, "Sir, it's incredible what you were able to do." You look into it and it's like, yeah, that's not really true. Like, it is true that there are armaments that just like on a schedule do get replaced, and that's part of the military industrial complex. But there's nothing like special Trump really did. But these stories they take on like a life of their own. And it's interesting to sometimes try to dig down and figure out, like, was there any policy connected to that, or is that just a story?